Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are going to do an hour-long gentle Vinyasa flow in honor of Pride Month this June. So our theme today is all about unconditional love, focusing on love for ourselves today, and that way hopefully you can spread that love to everyone else around you. So we're going to start any way that you really want. So I'm going to stay seated. You can lie down, you can be in child's pose, whatever is the most comfortable for you. So pick whatever position you want to center yourself in, get comfortable. And then if you'd like, you can close the eyes or just have a nice soft gaze. And start to notice your breath. I invite you to bring both hands to the heart. Not in a prayer position unless you want that. You can just have them stacked on top of one another. And imagine underneath your hands, your heart. And on each exhale, I offer you to say the word love. You can say it out loud or just to yourself. And I want you to notice what that word makes you feel. You don't have to put a word or a label on it necessarily, but maybe it makes you feel safe. Maybe it makes you feel warm. Maybe it makes you feel calm. Just notice what happens to the body and to the mind as you say the word love. And with that word, feel at the heart center that sensation of love just glowing in the heart, like an ember. And with each exhale, feel that sensation of love spreading a little further. Your inhale makes the heart grow brighter. In your exhale, that love spreads further and further out from your heart center. Until your whole body is shining. Your whole body is feeling that sensation of love, whatever that sensation is to you. And maybe even imagine it spreading beyond the body. So you have this aura around you of love, of calm, of warmth, of stability, of security, of joy. And once you feel that light all around you, I want you to just smile to yourself. You can smile just with the lips or with your teeth. Let that smile just seal all of these positive feelings in the body and in the mind. Smiling is a great way to just immediately relax the body. Immediately change your perspective. Take a few more breaths here. Maybe lengthening the breath. You can continue using that love mantra on your exhale. Maybe just now in your mind instead of saying it out loud. And when you're ready, open the eyes if they're not already. And we'll make our way to tabletop position on your hands and your knees. So from wherever you're at, take your time to get into tabletop. Fingers spread wide. When you're ready, turning the toes under, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Move around, can pedal the feet, bending one knee deeply, and then the other. Any other movement that feels good to you? Here in your first down dog of our session today. And find some stillness. On an inhale, bring the right foot up to the sky, three-legged down dog. Be gentle to start. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower the right foot. Breathe in to lift the left foot. Feeling a nice stretch through the back of the right leg. Starting to warm up the shoulders and the arms. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower the left foot down, lower the knees down, tabletop. Send your right foot straight back so you're on the ball of the right foot. Toes are tucked under. And you're gonna gently shift your weight back and then forward. A little bit of a calf mobilization, calf stretch on that right side. Keeping the breath long, keeping the breath slow and steady. And then pick that right foot up, send it over to the left. Plant that ball of your foot down over to the left. Look back towards that foot so you're getting a nice side bend stretch through the right side. And gently return to tabletop. When you're ready, send that left foot back and gently start to rock forward and back. And then pick that left foot up, send it over to the right, cross the midline, looking back towards that foot. With the inhale, you feel that left side of your rib cage expand. Gently return back to tabletop. We're going to sit back to a child's pose, so you can have the knees wider or closer together, whatever you would like. Big toes touch, hips go back, forehead comes down. Arms can stay up towards the front of your mat, or you can wrap them around the legs. And slowly rock the head back and forth. So you're getting a little massage to the third eye space between the eyebrows. Really let the belly go here. Let it release, let it relax. Today's session is all about love for yourself, doing what is best for yourself, your body, your mind in this moment. So take things slow, be mindful, and do what's best for you. That's always true in my classes, but take an extra focus on fostering that self-love. Take one last breath here. And then come on up to tabletop position and downward facing dog when you're ready. Look to the hands, make your way to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Take a breath or two here. You can find some movement, rocking side to side if you'd like, or just be still. Bend the knees as much as you'd like, especially for your first forward fold of class. Wherever you're at, let the head go, let the neck be long, the head hang heavy. On your inhale, lift halfway up, hands on shins or on your mat, shoulders down and back. Spine is nice and long. Exhale, come forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms up however far is comfortable, option to look up. Exhale, hands down in prayer. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bending the knees as you come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. Add the knees up or the knees down, deep breath in. Exhale, lower up, down, all the way or halfway. Up dog on your inhale, or cobra or baby cobra. Stay for a breath here. And on your exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Look forward. Make your way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands in prayer. Good. We're going to clasp the hands and bring them behind the head. So the elbows are out wide. If this is too much on your shoulders or anything else, you can just cross the arms over the chest and grab onto opposite shoulders. That's just as good of an option. Wherever you're at, on your next inhale, you're going to look up, lift the chest up, open the elbows wide if the hands are up. Exhale, you're going to begin to round, bring the elbows closer together. Neck is long, and you're slowly rolling yourself forward and down. One vertebrae at a time till you get all the way down to a forward fold. Release the hands once you get closer. On your inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step just the right foot back, right knee down, setting up for lizard lunge. Both hands to the inside of the left foot. You You can use blocks here to prop yourself up. You can stay up on tall arms, or you can lower down onto the elbows. Back toes can be turned under or top of the foot down. Really pull the chest open with either the elbows or the hands. Come on up to tall arms if you're not already. Plant the right hand down. On your inhale, lift the left arm up for a simple twist. Keeping length in the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Option to bring that left arm up overhead for a little bit of an extra side stretch. To intensify it, you can come down onto the right elbow as that left arm is reaching up towards the front of the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower both hands down. Frame that left foot again. Turn the back toe under, back knee up. Step the right foot up just a foot or two. So we're setting up for pyramid pose. So both toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. Legs are working straight. If you need to bend the knees because it's a little much on the hamstrings, that's fine. You can also use blocks here. This is a great use for blocks if you've got them, or block alternatives. Wherever you're at, you want to keep the spine nice and long. Left hip back, right hip forward so the hips are square towards the front of the mat. Be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. This is a pretty intense stretch for a lot of people. This is where that self-love comes in. Don't force your body. Appreciate what it's able to do and honor what it's telling you. Take one last breath here. And then step that right foot all the way up to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. We're going to set up for tree pose. Standing on the left leg, lifting the right leg. So right ankle can kickstand onto the left ankle, or that right foot can go onto the left calf. Or you can bring it all the way up to the inner thigh. Avoiding pushing on that knee joint with the right foot. Opening up through that right knee. Hands can stay in prayer. They can go up overhead. You can do kind of cactus arms to open up the chest a little bit more. Whatever calls to you today. Wherever you're at, you're keeping the spine nice and long, lifting up through the chest, keeping the low belly engaged. Breathe in. Breathe out, hands in prayer, release that right foot. We're going to set up for that same sequence on the other side. So clasp the hands behind the head. Inhale to arch back. Elbows back. Heart lifts, head lifts. Exhale, round, elbows come together. Slowly lower. All the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, left knee down, setting up for your lizard lunge. Both hands on the inside of the right foot. Same options for the hands as the other side, but this hip might feel a bit different. So take this time to re-explore the pose on this side. Decide what's best for you. Wherever you're at, keeping long through the spine, pulling the chest forward with either the hands or the elbows. Nice opening stretch through the front of the left hip and possibly the back of the right leg and the hamstring of the right leg. And possibly other places depending on where you're less flexible. Come on up to tall arms if you're not already. Plant the left hand down. Inhale to lift the right arm up. Open twist. This really intensifies the left front of the hip stretch for me personally. You want to feel nice and open so that the body can relax and release into the stretch versus forcing it and making it want to tighten up even more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Option to extend that right arm up overhead towards the front of the mat. Option to come down onto the left elbow. If you're bringing that arm overhead, still lift the chest up towards the right and up towards the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Plant both hands down. Frame that right foot. Come on up with that back leg. Step that left foot forward. Pyramid pose. Other side. Again, same pose but different side. So explore your options. Find the edge where you're getting a nice stretch without it being too intense or too uncomfortable. Some discomfort is expected with stretching, but you don't want anything to be sharp, shooting, intense pains like that. Everything stays nice and long here. Keep the breath long and slow if you can. As stretches intensify, it's easy to get choppy in the breath. Feel that love, that warmth that we started class with. Remember that that's still there in every cell of the body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left foot meets the right. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way. Exhale, hands in prayer. And set up for tree on the other side. So right foot stays planted, left foot lifts up, whatever level suits you today. I've been more of a foot on calf kind of yogi lately versus all the way up to the thigh. Again, pick your arm variation, maybe try something new, or if you really liked this arm variation you chose on the other side, do it again. Heart is lifted. Feel that stability from the standing foot, keeping you nice and solid, rooted into the ground. One last breath in. Exhale, hands in prayer. Drop that left foot. Good. We're going to do one more sequence Similar sequence, but we're gonna add on a little bit more this time around. So hands clasped, bring them behind the head, or your other variation. Inhale to arch up. Maybe you're being able to bend a little bit further into that back bend, as long as it's comfortable. Long through the spine. Exhale, elbows come together. Lower the elbows towards the chest, towards the belly button, towards the pelvis, towards the thighs, knees, shins. Release the hands down. Inhale to lift halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, right knee down, lizard lunge. Both hands come to the inside of the left foot. Now this time around, you can do any of the variations that we did on our first round through. If you're wanting a little stretch to the front of the thigh, of the right thigh, you're gonna lift that left hand up, bend into the right knee, and maybe you can grab onto that foot with your left hand. If not, you can just keep it like a nice active knee bend of that right knee. Chest is nice and open. Wherever you're at, you're pulling that heart open, that chest open. If you're doing the quad stretch, you might notice that you can start pulling that foot a little closer to the hip. My right thigh is pretty tight, so it kind of stays where it is, which is fine. Take one last breath here. And then if you're holding onto that foot, gently release it. Don't let it slingshot down. We're gonna bring the right hand really wide off of your mat and forward a little bit. And on your next inhale, you're gonna open that left arm up to the sky. A nice wide, simple twist. Hopefully getting a little bit deeper into that stretch. If this feels unstable, of course, you can bring the right hand back where it was for our first round through. And I will start to bend back a little bit more. Feel free to explore whatever feels good for you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Option to bring that left arm up towards the front of the mat. On your next exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Frame that front foot. Back toe under, back knee up. Walk forward a bit for pyramid pose. Hopefully these pyramids are getting a little easier with repetition. Maybe not. Just be patient with yourself. Appreciate where your body can go today, even if it's not as far as your mind might want it to go. Gently square the hips again, so right hip comes forward, left hip comes back. If you've got blocks handy, grab onto those. I'm gonna have my blocks at the tallest setting. We're gonna transition to a variation of Warrior 3. So you're gonna walk your hand, bend into the front knee, walk your hands forward a bit in your blocks if you've got them, and then lift that right foot up to about parallel. Hands can be on the floor or on blocks, or if you want to do Warrior 3 with the hands up overhead, you of course may do so. Wherever you're at, you're keeping the hips square, so now the right hip probably wants to come up, so you want to pull it down so that the right hip is level with the left hip. Nice and long through the spine. This is the most work we're going to do today in class. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower that right foot down to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, pull the way. Exhale, hands in prayer. Clasp the hands, bring the hands behind the head. Inhale to arch up. Exhale, round. Slow, slow, slow to forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, left knee down, lizard lunge. Same options here. If you want to add that thigh stretch, plant through the left hand. Look over to your right, bend the left knee, maybe grab on. This side's a little bit easier for me personally. Be patient with yourself, love yourself. Whatever variation you're doing right now, if you are honoring what your body is asking for, then you are doing it right. Heart is open. Find some ease here. Notice if anything is tensing, if your jaw is tensing or your eyebrows. Find a place that might need a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of a release. You can smile to yourself like we did at the start of class to help relax things a little bit more. Breathe in. Breathe out, slowly lower that back foot down if you're headed up. You're gonna bring that left hand, wide and up. And when you're ready, lifting that right arm up for a nice wide, simple twist. Opening the heart up to the right knee and maybe even up higher towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Option 2, on your exhale, bring that right arm up overhead, left elbow down. A little extra stretch to the right side. On your exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, frame the front foot. Lift the back knee, step forward, pyramid. Again, explore where you can find some ease, what maybe needs to be paid attention to in the body, in the mind. Part of our self-love is being self-aware and listening to our bodies and our minds, which is quite hard for us in today's society. Yoga is a great practice to be more aware, be a little bit more proactive versus reactive. Take one last breath here. Bend into that front knee, make your way forward with the hands and or blocks. For a variation of Warrior 3, lift the back foot up when you're ready. Left inner thigh pulls up towards the sky, toes are pointing more or less down towards the floor. Really lengthen through the lifted leg, don't just let it be floppy. Be active through that lifted leg. Helps take a little bit of pressure off of the standing leg. Keep the breath easy. Maybe smile here. Always helps. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower that left foot down, forward fold. Take a longer forward fold here. You can walk the feet a little bit wider. Bend into the knees however much is comfortable. More bend in the knees is more of a stretch in the low back. Less bend is more of a stretch on the hamstrings. You can grab onto the elbows for ragdoll if you'd like. You can find some movement or be still. When you're ready, plant the hands, bend the knees all the way so your butt makes your way to the ground. If you want to transition to the floor another way, of course, go for it. And then we're going to extend both legs long in front of you. We're going to work towards a baby cradle pose. So to start, let's bring the right foot in towards the thigh. If you're getting a stretch in the right hip there, stay there. You can stack the ankle onto the thigh for a little deeper stretch. Within here, you can kind of vary where you're leaning to get more of a stretch or less of a stretch. And if you want to actually hold on, you can pull that lower leg up. You can grab on underneath that shin and hold it that way. You can use the elbows, or you can hook the elbow around the foot and the other elbow around the knee for a cradling position in the arms. Find whatever version works for you today. Wherever you're at in any version of this pose, any of those options, keep the spine long, keep the chest open, the heart open. Again, as always, you can move or you can be still. Dealer's choice. Take one last breath here. And gently lower your baby down if you had it up. And then everyone bring the foot to the inner leg. So it can be closer to the thigh, it can be further away from the body. And then let's lean back. So hands behind you, lean back, open the chest up. If that feels good, stay here, or you can stay upright, or you can start to walk yourself forward. If you're walking forward, come with a long spine to start. So you're almost trying to bring your belly to the thigh versus your chest or your chin or your nose. And once you find that edge, then you can start to just kind of relax into it and round through the spine a little bit more. Strap is a great tool here if you've got one, or a belt. If you have tight backs of the legs, you can use a strap to assist you a little bit more in finding a stretch without it being too intense. Take one last breath here. You make your way to upright if you're not already. And then extend that right leg long. And then we'll set up for baby cradle on the left side. So again, go through the steps. Left foot towards the inner leg. Stack the left ankle. Play with your lean here if you want to stay here. Or you can start to lift that lower leg up. Picking any of those binds, grabbing up and under, or wrapping around the sides. As long as you're feeling some stretch through the left hip, you're doing it right. Really tune in here, tune into the body. Notice the sensations that you're feeling. We often in yoga find poses to be a means to our own self-worth. If you can't do this, you can't do that, then you are not a true yogi, a true yoga practitioner. I want you to get that out of your head. Because if you're doing what's best for your body and you're listening to your body, it doesn't matter what you're doing your yoga. So try to come to every session with that idea in your head, and that loving yourself means doing what's best for your body at every moment. Doing what's best for your mind at every moment. Take one last breath, really lift the chest a little bit higher. And then gently release that leg down. And bring the foot to the inside of the leg, wherever is comfortable. Hands behind you, lean back, lift the heart. You can hang out here, come upright, or come forward. Same options. Finding that little edge, that good sensation of stretch without it being too intense. And then you can start to round through the spine. Take one last breath here. And slowly walk yourself to upright from wherever you were. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. We're going to set up for a bridge pose. So on your back, knees up, feet flat. Arms can be down along the sides long. Or you can have robot arms where the elbows are bent 90 degrees and the fingertips are pointing up towards the sky, whatever you prefer. And then lengthen through the low back. Start to engage the butt muscles. So you start to bring that tailbone lengthening towards the heels, and then lift the hips. Hips can go however high you'd like. Don't want any pinching or pain in the lower back. If your hips are high and you want to clasp the hands underneath your body, that is an option. You can start to walk, if you're doing that, you can start to walk the shoulders closer together and down. Wherever you're at, keeping the neck nice and long, keeping looking straight up versus crunching your chin towards your chest. Finding that openness sensation through the abdomen, through the chest, through the front of the neck, maybe through the collarbones. If you've got a little more space in you on your last inhale here, lift a little bit higher maybe. Exhale, release the hands, lower all the way down. You can windshield wiper the knees side to side, or hug both knees into the chest, or release the low back. We're gonna set up for either one more bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, or if you wanna try wheel for a more full back bend, that's what I'm gonna talk you through. So when you're ready, setup is the same for both. So you can keep your bridge and do exactly the same as we did before. If you want to do a supported bridge and put a block under your hips, you can do a more restful bridge pose. Arm placement whenever you're ready. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. If you're doing wheel, you're going to bring the hands so they're on either side of the ears, elbows up towards the sky. And then I like to prop myself up onto my head just for a moment, not a ton of weight on the head, but just a little bit so that I can get kind of my fingers and toes in the right place. And you can stay here if that feels good, or you can lift, straighten the elbows, lift up for a deeper wheel. Wherever you're at, wheel or bridge, you're really opening up through the chest, opening up through the heart. Keep breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out, release all the way down. Release that low back, however feels good. Windshield wiper knees or hugging the knees in. Bridge and wheel both are great poses to foster love, because a lot of us are so hunched forward and you're cowered in on yourself, and you can't give or receive love that way. And being open in a wheel or a bridge, you're exposing your most vulnerable parts. You're trusting your environment that you can expose the most vulnerable parts of you and open that up so that you can give and receive. So it can be emotional, but it can be incredibly powerful. When you're ready, we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and bring the left leg long on your mat. And then bring that right knee towards the right armpit. So you're kind of off to the side a little bit. The leg is along the ribs, along the side. And then you can stay here, or you can set up for a half happy baby, grabbing onto either the foot, or if you can't reach the foot, you can grab onto the thigh or the shin. Working towards the right knee, towards the right armpit, and the right foot straight up towards the ceiling. Grounding through the left hip, so you're not opening up through that, or rolling over towards the right side. You're trying to keep that left hip, that left butt down on the mat. And the left knee, so the left foot is flat. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Keep the legs exactly the same. Bring all of that over to the left for a figure four twist. So the right foot is flat on the floor, and you're resting on the left outer leg. Working both shoulders so they're closer to the mat. Hopefully they're both on the mat. And if you want to deepen your stretch, you can look over to the right. Starting to slow things down. You don't have to force the breath anymore. Just let it be whatever it wants to be. Bring the head back to center. Bring the feet back up. And then extend the right leg long. And bring the left knee in towards the chest. And then maybe over closer to the armpit. Stay here or set up for your half happy baby, grabbing onto whatever you have access to on that left leg. Take one last breath here. And then bend the right knee, place the left ankle over that right thigh. Figure 4 twist, opposite way. Pick how deep or shallow you want to go with the stretch. Try to find a way to relax and release into it where you're not efforting. Take one last breath here. Bring your head back to neutral, legs back up, uncross. Do whatever you gotta do before we set up for our final rest. You can have the knees in, you can stretch open, a pencil stretch, whatever feels good. And then whenever you're ready, you can set up either for Shavasana, where the legs are long, arms are long, you're really taking up a lot of space. Or you can be in constructive rest, where the feet are flat and the knees are tented in together. That feels good. If you'd rather sit up and meditate sitting, you can do that too. So just find a comfortable spot for all your bits and pieces. Grab any props so that you can support yourself as the body would like. Then once you've found that comfortable spot, try to be still. Find stillness in the body. Maybe close the eyes if you feel comfortable. Relax the jaw. Maybe even open the lips, open the mouth a little bit. Let the tongue relax away from the top of the roof of the mouth. If you'd like, just as we started class, you can place both hands over your heart. Maybe feeling that energy that we tried to conjure at the beginning of class, maybe feeling it a little bit more fully now. Imagining again that ember within the heart glowing. With each inhale, it glows brighter. With each exhale, it expands further. And feeling that light, imagining it in every single cell of your body. want you to imagine someone that you love, a family member, your partner, a friend. Pick one person and imagine them in your mind's eye. And imagine sending love to that person right now. Feeling that light in the body being sent directly to that person. And then imagine someone that is neutral to you. Maybe it's a stranger or a coworker that you've never really talked to. Imagine someone, doesn't even have to be someone you know. And then imagine sending that love to that neutral person. That light, that energy being sent to that person that you know nothing about. And then imagine someone that you don't particularly like, someone that you're maybe having a disagreement with right now, or someone that you've just never meshed with. Maybe someone you no longer even speak to. Once you have that image in your mind, send the same love to that person. It's not forgiveness, it's just love. It's just love and light to that person. And then just imagine in your mind's eye the room that you are in right now, the space that you're in. And imagine that love, that light just fills up the entire room. It's all glowing, it's all bright. That energy that has started from your heart has now extended to reach every depth of the room. Stay here for a few more breaths, and I will take you out when it is time. Take a deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. If you'd like to stay here for longer and rest in Shavasana, feel free to do so. If you're ready to come out, you can gently start to wiggle the fingers and toes, the wrists and the ankles, and stretch however feels good. You can stay right where you're at, and if you would like, you can bring the hands to a prayer position at the heart center. The love and light in me sees and honors that same love and light in you. Namaste.